Everyone, welcome to Good I'm Chris King.
I'm Alexander Wood.
Today we're having a deep dive. We're going to break down Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Just a few weeks ago, Ubisoft Quebec released about the 30-minute presentation. So Alex is going to break it down for us, and we're going to give you our thoughts on it.
So what's up, guys? Okay, so this is a 30-minute pre-alpha presentation. So you saw the whole 30 minutes. You actually just paid a lot of attention, took notes, all that good stuff. So, London, 1868, Industrial Revolution. There's organized crime, and also this game. It's huge. It's 30% bigger than Unity. So you played Unity, and that was already big enough. Well, yeah. I thought it was big enough. So how do you feel about this being so huge, and also the time period?
Okay, yeah. So there's already a lot of details. It was a pre-alpha presentation. So again, pre-alpha meaning that this game is not done yet. And this footage that they showed, I'm pretty sure it's not the footage that they've been working on now. This is probably footage that was completed maybe like in January, and they're just showing it to you. They're probably not showing you what they're working on right now, because they have maybe about like 2 months to finish the game before it has to go gold and they have to ship it out. So this is not what it looks like right now. Obviously, it's gonna look. It may look better. It could look worse. That's another detail I want to talk about in a different deep thoughts. But anyway, so pre-alpha, 30 minutes, London, 1868. So this is actually at the turn of the Industrial Revolution. They didn't mention the Industrial Revolution, but I looked it up, and obviously you kind of already know. This is the turn of the Industrial Revolution. I think it actually happens a little bit after, but they have coal, they have steam, they have trains, they have a lot of factories now. This is as modern as Assassin's Creed has ever been. It's as closest to modern times as ever. You saw that in a lot of the weapons. We'll talk a little about that in just a minute. As you mentioned, organized crime is a very big theme in it. I saw a lot of the guys who were covering it were talking about it's like gangs in New York, but in London. No, it's much more like Peaky Blinders. If you've seen Peaky Blinders, it's a few years maybe earlier than that. So, and that whole kind of thing is about organized crime, and that's really the rise of organized crime in these European cities and stuff. You know, so yeah, and another thing, massive world, 30% bigger than Unity. I played Unity. I have this story that I always talk about, which is I played about an hour of it and I was yawning the entire time, and I actually recorded it, but I decided not to upload it because I was yawning the entire time. It is huge. Unity is too big. Unity is definitely too big, and a big problem that was that there's no transportation. You had to walk literally everything. You can fast travel to certain points, but it was just way too big, way too cumbersome, way too overloaded with stuff. And it was not necessary. Big games are great, but the problem is that at this point, obviously, we're much more mature gamers. If you would give us a game like this 10 years ago, we would have freaked out. But at this point, I think we want games that are much more sophisticated and dense. We're not looking for massive landscapes at this point. We want to know that there's little creatures, walking around. We want to know that there's children playing, and over there's like people doing laundry, and there's people talking and arguing and stuff. We want a dense experience. I would rather have that than a bigger game. So I'm not looking forward to actually that aspect of it.
Yeah, because a game is not us running down a football field that's completely empty.
Right.
So you can make this as big as you want, but if it's not fun, it's not fun.
Precisely.
Yeah. So, okay. So the code name was Victory, but obviously now the real game came out. Real Syndicate. And then also the box art. How do you feel about box art? Like, it came out.
I like the box art actually a lot. It's just Jacob Fry like kind of leaning over with his sword cane right there. Yeah, and actually I liked how they showed it. Like when they reviewed it, it was like Assassin's Creed codename Victory. And I delete the Victory. It's like Syndicate. Yes. I like that. I like Victory a little bit more because it sounds like Victorian, and that's the era that we're in right now. But yeah, so I like the box art. I like the presentation of it right now.
Yeah, I like the sword cane. It just reminds me of Clockwork Orange.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
So it's completely
the box art as well looks very Clockwork Orange. Right?
Yeah, this is, I don't know, something about this game. It's like make me actually look at it and actually care about it. Because Unity, I was not even interested in Unity at all.
No.
And then even the Pirates one, what was that? Black
Flag.
Black Flag. I didn't care about it at all. But then this one I'm actually completely for it. And I also don't like I don't like period pieces. I have a hard time when it comes to going back in time. Or even going too far in the future. Like, I just can't do it. So, like this, I don't know why, but I'm so intrigued.
It speaks to you.
Yeah. Okay. So, they also spoke on bad reviews of Unity.
Yeah.
Especially the whole face thing. Like, I didn't mention that. Like,
I like that they showed it, yeah.
like, face will be attacked.
Yeah.
And then this claims a different approach and it should be the best Assassin's Creed. Okay, so we hear these terms a lot. It's gonna be bigger. It's gonna be better. So how do you feel about this?
I like that they started off talking about Unity. And they mentioned that, this team, I don't think it was even the same team. I'm not sure if the last one was, I think it was Montreal was the last team. But overall, Ubisoft, right? I figured out the problem with Assassin's Creed. The problem with it being, first off, is that it's an annualized franchise. Yeah. And annualized franchises, our expectations should be lower. And I don't know why they're not, but they should be lower just as just an overall fact. They should be lower. But the second problem is that I think the reason why we love, Assassin's Creed 2 is a perfect game. I think everyone should play it. It's one of the very few that I would give a 10 out of 10. But Assassin's Creed 2, the beauty of it was that it opened up this world where you had 3 games with the same character and it followed a story. Yeah. That's just 3 years. Why can't you guys do that more often? Give us a character and commit. Commit to this character. Give us, sequels to that. If you're going to put out one every year, why don't you just do a sequel? It's actually cheaper.
So you're for Syndicate 2 and Syndicate 3 if Syndicate's good?
At this point, even if Syndicate's not good or whatever, I'd rather them just go and commit. If you're going to do this, Syndicate, commit. Yeah, and actually I would, because I would like to see this go from 1868 to the Peaky Blinders era, just because I'm into that show right now. So that's 1919. So I would like to see that kind of transition. Maybe the same character, maybe a different character, but in that same kind of family and that same world. Assassin's Creed Black Flag, I wasn't really a big fan of all people are. But I wouldn't have minded if they went 20 years in the future where the pirates are becoming, bigger and that kind of stuff. So I just want to see commitment.
And do you want a Captain Jack Sparrow DLC?
Yeah, actually, I always said that Ubisoft should have done a Pirates of the Caribbean game. So that would be pretty crazy.
Okay, so we followed Jacob, Fry, and Evie, his twin sister. Jacob is the brutal one, where Evie is the guidance. We see this trope all the time. This happens. So, are you for this? Do you like it? Do you think it's cool?
The interesting thing is that you can play as both. I'm hearing that it's about 70-30 though. When you're in the open world, you can switch. But as far as the actual campaign, 70% is Jacob and 30% will be Evie. I'm okay with that. I'm happy that you have a female protagonist in the game at this point. I know a lot of people have been calling for that. I'm not a big person where it's I'm not going to obviously play as a female. I would play as a male. But I like choice. I'm all about choice. The same with these Pokemon games. It took forever for them to introduce, I think it was Emerald was the first one where you can finally become a female or male. I'm not going to play as female, I'm going to play as male. But I like that there's choice because these games shouldn't be directed to just strictly males. Obviously, the female gamer is a massive audience. I don't know why they're not. That's 40% of the actual audience. And there's money there. There's money to be made. So I'm about choice, and I like that choice.
Yeah, I had a friend that I always played Gears of War with, and she said that she loved Gears of War 3 because you guys could choose from male and female, even though she still played a male. Yeah, but she said she was really happy.
It's just about choice. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so due to the time, due to the era, we have different weapon choice. Yeah. So here we have the kukri knife. Replaces a sword because it can be hidden because at this time, if you guys don't know, you get arrested for these types of things. So at this point, you need something you can hide. So a kukri knife. Then we got a revolver. And then we got brass knuckles, obviously. We got the assassin gauntlet. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, apparently it combines these next things. Yeah.
So I guess you have a super weird gauntlet that somehow you're supposed to hide, and it has darts, a hidden blade, and a grappling hook / zipline. Because you're Batman. Yeah. So how do you feel about this?
I like the new kind of weapon mode that you have there. I'm not a fan of the kukri knife. I prefer swords. That's why I'm glad that they actually mentioned the sword cane is there for any of you guys who love old school Assassin's Creed. I love swords. I love to use swords, so I'm definitely gonna not touch that kukri knife. I'm just gonna use the sword cane. I love the revolver because again, like I said, it goes back to that this is the most modern Assassin's Creed we've ever had. Before in the other ones like Black Flag and 3, you had pistols, but they were the pellets and the gunpowder where you're loading it. He's cutting it with the steel and he's with the muskets and everything taking forever. So this is an actual revolver. It's a 6-shooter, boom, boom, boom. It's gonna go really quickly. That's cool. The brass knuckles, that's really hardcore. That's this is an actual rated M Assassin's Creed. This is you can see obviously they're very bloody and all that kind of stuff. And the gauntlet itself, the big thing is the grappling hook. It is very Batman. apparently, yeah, you can pretty much do it almost at any point in the game. And the zip line, it's so dope. So I like this because, although I'm not a fan that it's going to be a bigger game, this looks like it's going to be much quicker to navigate through.
Yeah, I like it too. I think that's really cool, especially with brass knuckles.
Yeah.
Just punching everybody all the time. That'd be cool. It would remind me of what's that one? Stealing cars. Rated M game.
Oh, Grand Theft Auto?
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
run around,
right, yeah.
and punch everybody.
I miss the brass knuckles. I don't know why they bring those back, yeah.
Okay, so this one's going to be obviously a fast-paced one. Mm-hmm. They said it's going to be fast-paced and new combats. Okay, focus on brutality and speed. So this is where brass knuckles come in, and you're actually going to use them. So how do you feel about this?
I'm all about the combat in every game. Gameplay comes first to me, and when I'm speaking on gameplay, my first question is, what is the combat like? Mm-hmm. Like whenever, like a friend of mine would introduce me to Skyrim or, to Elder Scrolls or to, The Witcher or whatever, my first question is, what is the combat like? Dark Souls, same thing, yeah. I'm all about the fighting first. I don't know, it's just what I like to go for first. So I like it. It does look a lot faster, but in the sense that like where he can throw like 3 punches now, as before where it's like it was like a one really slow kind of punch. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to the fighting. Obviously, it's probably gonna be much more like Arkham, I'm assuming, which is a good thing.
Would it be real boxing where you hug them also?
I know, like when you're clenching and that kind of stuff. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if you can actually, because they showed those like kind of Fight Club things, mm-hmm. but I'm not entirely sure yet if you can actually participate. But my assumption is yeah, so that'd be kind of dope.
Okay, so next up, how you get around. It's new mm-hmm. vehicles. We got carriages and trains. Okay, so obviously you're not going to be riding dolphins or unicorns, mm-hmm. But that means there should be horses too, right?
Yeah,
horses with carriages.
Horses on carriages. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and then environment can be used to take out enemies such as bundles of barrels and fire pillars. What do you know what a fire pillar is? What's a fire pillar?
So we were calling them hobo fires. I just called them fire pillars. I'm not sure what to call them. But they're like a lot of like...
A barrel of fire in it?
Hobos. No, they weren't barrels. They were like these little kind of like stands. And they just had fire and people were gathering around. But apparently you can have hallucinogenic darts. And you can shoot it at the fire pillar and it will explode into a gas, like a cloud of hallucinogenic.
I don't like it.
So, yeah, it's kind of weird. Very shoot the barrels and that kind of stuff. But it's interesting kind of take. You couldn't really do that before, so it's interesting.
I guess it's just adding stuff for fun.
Yeah.
But also, where does it get hallucinogenic darts? Kind of crushed mushrooms?
They talk about Dickens and Darwin's later, so we'll get to that probably from Dickens.
So, gang strongholds can be captured, gang wars, underground fight clubs. So now you can start your own gang. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, apparently, your gang is called the Rooks. Which what are the Clockwork Orange guys called?
They are the Droogs.
The Droogs.
But
yeah, that's what I thought of immediately.
I'm assuming Rooks. Oh, I do like that actually.
Yeah.
Rooks. I'm just thinking that they get it from chess pieces.
Well, apparently it comes from like a bird or something like that, and apparently the bird are like mischievous or something like that. So they're rookers, I think, like that, but they're called the Rooks, But yeah.
So it's gonna be I already calling it gangs in New York. If you saw the Warriors and Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, that's a lot of people are saying as well. Yeah, so apparently it's very much like you have your gang and there's the territories on the map. Mm-hmm. They'll be like highlighted in red. This is an enemy gang hold. So you go there, you take out the leaders, and then you acquire that whole kind of thing. So I like that as a completionist. Of course, I'm going to do all of it. Mm-hmm. So I like that there's more for me to do. So that's a positive for me.
So you're going to be a terrible person. You're going to own the whole city.
I want the whole thing.
The whole Unity plus 30%.
I know. Yeah. Exactly.
And hopefully you could change the name of the gang because I want to call.
That'll be cool.
I want to start the Jokers again because that's gone for some reason. Because spoilers for Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. Joker gang. Okay, I'm gonna paint their faces too. Okay, so and then do Akira.
Oh, I know.
Akira, we're gonna start that gang. Okay, we're gonna be biker gangs on horses.
Yeah, this is why I don't know why they didn't add multiplayer, but
it's gonna be fun. I'm sure multiplayer's. We'll get to there. We'll get to that soon. Mm-hmm. Okay, it seems to be focused on characters. The pub scene, character designs, incredible detail and authentic. You got the top hats. You got your mustache you could twirl. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you could buy some mustache wax. Mm-hmm. Then the clothing, and then the steel logo for AC Syndicate.
Yeah, so in that pub scene, one of a big kind of selling point for me for now with these games and stuff is not just the detail on the clothings, but it's how realistic the clothing looks. Like, does it move in a realistic way? Do the colors match up with that kind of time and era? And that's a really big thing that Unity had, where the environment was so detailed and so realistic. And I gave it a big plus on the design for the Ace Unity was not a really good game, but the design of the environment was amazing. In this one, it seems to be bringing both really amazing design of the environment, and the character design finally looks really, really good. So I like that a lot.
Is this confirmed, or is this that Charles Dickens and Darwin will be allies in the game?
It's like a pre-order bonus.
Oh, okay, so it is happening. So it's confirmed.
Yeah, it is confirmed. That's where I'm assuming you'll probably get some of those those hallucinogenic darts, maybe from Charles Darwin, and maybe from Dickens. I'm sure maybe he'll. I don't know. Maybe he's he's writing his books, and maybe he's just kind of you go to him for certain gang missions or something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure why they're there, but they're there.
Yeah, I think that they've been trying to do this for a while, right? Like,
there was
Unity had somebody, Da Vinci or something.
No, that was Assassin's Creed 2.
Okay, what?
No, I don't know.
Well, they try to throw.
They've had everyone. They've had Da Vinci. They've had
Edgar Allan Poe.
No,
Chateau.
I forget. But they usually have everyone. You know.
Yeah, they try. Which is cool. I'm for it. I hope that in one of them, when you're an Assassin's Creed caveman, you'll have a dinosaur.
Yeah.
You know, Dino from Flintstones. Okay. So and then no nods to the meta story or multiplayer.
So this is a big thing.
Tough one, yeah.
As far as the meta story of Assassin's Creed is that it's set in the future, and there's Juno, and there's these interplanetary gods and goddesses and stuff, and I don't know. It's weird. It's just really weird. But there hasn't been nods to that in a very long time, since 3, I guess. Because they didn't talk about much of it in 4. They haven't talked about it in Unity, and they don't really seem to be nodding to it in this point. So I'm wondering what's happened to Metasaur. I think it just died.
Yeah, they just don't care anymore.
With 3, maybe. So there's that. And then the biggest thing here is no multiplayer, no co-op. For me, this is a negative just because I like the co-op in Unity. Never worked, but I liked it. Because Assassin's Creed is something that at this point we've played 7 games already. And I kind of want to be able to play with someone else and have that person, as an assassin, you can take out that guy while I take out this kind of guy. Because it speeds it up. Yeah. And that's what I really liked about the co-op in Unity. But the problem is that Unity was these co-op missions. I hate co-op missions. I just want to play the actual game in co-op.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's a very big negative for me, and that's really what's holding me back from going into this game. I'm not sure yet.
It's a tough one because you'll have to have some separate person or something, because in this game, the next thing is that Evie will be a playable character in the open world, and she'll have her own story missions. So does that mean that if you and I are playing, and I'll be Evie, and then finally we get to that point, it's does that mean you're not playing? How is this going to happen?
Yeah, see, that would have been a good idea. You have 2 characters, and one person can play as Evie, even if it was just 2-person co-op. It doesn't have to be 4 like Unity was, but even 2-person would have been cool, but it's not in there. So I'm not really sure how it's going to work here. They haven't given us some details. But apparently, you can choose both characters, but it has to be in the open world, and certain story missions are going to be, you have to be Jacob or you have to be Evie, but...
I'm sure there's going to be some kind of multiplayer where there's gang wars and stuff.
Yeah, probably leaderboards or something like that, I'm not sure. But again, if they commit to this world, I'm okay with this one not having multiplayer if the next one, Assassin's Creed Syndicate 2, whatever, does. But knowing Ubisoft, they're probably just going to set it in Egypt the next time, so who knows.
Yeah, that's the rumor, isn't it?
Yeah, ours was that it was going to be set in Cairo, so...
Yeah, so this game releases on October 23rd, which is really soon. October 23rd of this year.
Yeah.
So do you think you'll get this game, after Unity stuff and all that?
Yeah, so actually I've been tired of Assassin's Creed since 3. Because my last one that I actually liked was Revelations. And even that one was kind of pushing it too much.
And that wasn't a part of the actual main game, right? It was just
No, it was. It was just much more in the future of, since Brotherhood, he's just older, but... okay, October 23rd, so obviously E3. We're going to see a bunch of Ubisoft. So I think that will be the deciding factor for me. If they don't impress me at E3, I will probably skip it. You seem to be much more on board than myself.
I'm so for this game.
If you can manage to get your Xbox by then, this would be a great game for you to cover first. If not, maybe you'll probably want to cover it for us anyway. So I don't know. I'm still undecided at this point. Again, I'm very anti-annual franchises. This is the same problem I have with Call of Duty, even though I'm not sure if we're gonna do Black Ops 3 and stuff. So I don't know. But what about you? You're in?
I'm for this game, but again, I'm actually with you with the E3 thing because I wasn't a big fan of Assassin's Creed since Part 1. And even Part 1 kind of was like, okay.
1 was not that good either.
I didn't like the whole repetitive things. Like, let's just go to the tallest anything.
Yeah.
And then just jump off of it a million times. You gotta do it all over the city. Mm-hmm. So stuff like that I just wasn't really into. So hopefully they got some kind of love, some kind of interest in Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. I think kind of meshing those things in there because it's what it looks like to me. This looks a little more like at least slightly inspired, helped by the gameplay of Arkham City.
Yeah.
Because the zip line and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
It's just it seems like it's a little formy. It is darker, and for some weird reason, I don't like period pieces, but this really just speaks to me. I really like it. I do want a Clockwork Orange DLC, which is not going to happen, but I like it. It reminds me of a lot of good things that I like in media and such. So that's why I like it. If I do live stream this one, I will be really annoying with my Clockwork Orange references. Yeah. I will be speaking Clockwork. I think they call it NatSat. I'm gonna do that. It's gonna happen. I will call everybody my Droog, and they all have Tolchuks all over themselves. Okay, so yeah, I like this. I'm for it.
Yeah. So let us know in the comments below if you guys are looking forward to Assassin's Creed Syndicate, or are you gonna wait until next year? Yeah. Will you be picking it up? Will you be pre-ordering? Do you care about Charles Darwin and Dickens? Yeah. So yeah, let us know.